Hey guys, I'm just doing some 21-day fix meal prep and I thought you might be interested in what I'm making. I do have both kids home right now, so if you hear anything crazy in the background, that's what it is. And yes, that is my smoke detector that is beeping, and my husband needs to change the batteries. Yeah, so that's that. So yes, the first thing I am making is some Bulgur stuffed peppers. So I just have two peppers here that I cut in half, and I went ahead and cleaned out the seeds and any of the flesh that I could get out. And also for these peppers I'm going to be using some Bulgur wheat, some salt and pepper, some Roma tomatoes, some red onion, some feta cheese, and then I just have some basil and oregano. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these peppers on a cookie sheet that has just been sprayed with some nonstick cooking spray, and I'm going to place them face down. So they will roast in a 400-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes, and while I am doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get my bulgur cooking. Okay, so to cook your bulgur, all you have to do is take 2 cups of cold water and then add 1 cup of the bulgur wheat. I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a boil, and then once it starts boiling, I'm going to bring it back to a simmer, and I am going to cover it and then let it go for probably 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so the bulgur is boiling now. I am just going to add a little bit of salt, and then I'm going to reduce the heat to low, and I'm going to simmer it for, like I said, like 10 to 15. Okay, so while the bulgur wheat and the peppers cook, I am going to start working on the filling for my peppers. And I wanted to just talk to you for a minute about this recipe in terms of the 21-day fix. So we already have, our peppers, right? So that's going to be a half a pepper per serving. So a half a pepper is pretty much a half a green container. I went ahead and chopped one up just to make sure, and it's about half a green container. So what I am going to do is I'm going to chop up 1 container of these Roma tomatoes and then 1 container of the red onions. And what that is going to do, I'm going to have 2 green containers, and I'm going to split that up between those 4 peppers, the 4 pepper halves that I have. So we are going to end up with 1 green container at that point, and then we'll add in our bulgur and our cheese, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get these all set up. Okay, here are my tomatoes all chopped up, and I've gone ahead and put them in a bowl after I measured them out in my green container. And then here's my green container of red onions. I'm going to go ahead and get a pan heated up with some nonstick cooking spray, and I'm going to saute those with my spices. Okay, so my peppers are done. My bulgur is done, and if you have any water left over in the pan after your bulgur is done cooking, you can just go ahead and drain that off. That's completely fine. Right now I am just sauteing up these onions with some non-stick cooking spray, and I'm going to go ahead and get my spices added right now. Okay, I added in a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, some fresh ground pepper, and probably about a teaspoon of sea salt as well. I'm going to let these go for about 2 minutes. Okay, my onions have been sauteing for a couple of minutes now, and I am just going to go ahead and add my tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and let this probably go for another 1 to 2 minutes, and then I will take it off the heat. Alright, these have been going for a couple minutes. It smells delicious. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat, and I am going to show you how I measure everything out and stuff the peppers. Okay, so here's how I measure this out for the 21-day fix. So basically I just took my pan that had my tomatoes and my onions in it, and I just used my spoon to kind of section it off into 4 equal portions. Then I take a yellow container for my bulgur, and I take a blue container for my feta cheese. I'm going to dump those all in the bowl. So I'm going to dump 1 section of the tomatoes and onions, 1 yellow container, and 1 blue container, and I'm going to go ahead and dump them all in this bowl, and then I'm going to go ahead and stuff my pepper with that. Okay, so there is my filling for the pepper all set to go. I'm going to go grab one of my peppers and show you what it looks like also. Okay, here's 1 pepper stuffed. I'm just going to go ahead and stuff the rest. Then I'm going to pop them back on my cookie sheet and put them back in the 400-degree oven for 5 more minutes. All right, here are the stuffed peppers after they cooked for that last 5 minutes, and then I let them cool off on a pan, and I just went ahead and put them in this Tupperware container. I'm going to cover it and throw it in the fridge, and now I have 4 lunches for the week. Awesome. Okay, so the next thing I am making today is some Frittata Muffins. So they're just like the little egg muffins that you make inside the, you know, the muffin tins. So I have some chopped up yellow peppers and some red onions. I have some salt and pepper. I have eggs. I have some sweet Italian chicken sausage, and then I just have some cheddar cheese. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get my chicken sausage in the oven, and I'm just gonna broil that on both sides. Okay, so my sausages are done. My onions and peppers are done. I've gone ahead and cracked 6 eggs into a bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and whisk them up, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up my sausage, and I'm going to add a half a sausage to each one of these compartments in my muffin tin that I have sprayed with non-stick cookies. Okay, I have all my sausage divided up, and the next thing I am going to do is I'm going to add a half a blue container of cheese right on top of the sausage to each one of the compartments. Okay, that's all set. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of the onions and peppers into each compartment. All right, and the next step is to go ahead and put your eggs in. It's probably going to work out to be about a quarter of a cup of egg for every, you know, individual compartment. So if you just want to use like a quarter of a cup measuring cup, that would be fine, and then you can just, like, you know, evenly distribute if you have any extra. All right, here they are, all set to go into my 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. I was actually going to top these with another half a container of cheese, but I don't know, I don't even think I need it. They're pretty full as it is, and like the cheese is all right there, so I don't know, I think I'm just gonna leave them like this. All right, I'm gonna get them in the oven. Okay, so I just wanted to point this out as well. I had a yellow container left of bulgur wheat from my other recipe, and I have a half a green container of onions and peppers left here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mix them together, and there's another one. Okay, so the very last thing I am making today are the banana oatmeal cookies from the 21-day fixed eating plan. I have my oats and my cinnamon and my salt in the bowl. I'm gonna get those mixed up. Okay, so I added the 2 mashed bananas, a quarter cup of chopped walnuts, and a quarter cup of golden raisins, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it mixed up, and then I'm going to put heaping tablespoons on the cookie. Hey guys, my frittata muffins are out of the oven, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop my cookies in. I can't see how these are gonna turn into cookies, but I'm really excited to see them when they're done, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in now. Okay, my cookies are out of the oven, and I'm just gonna let them cool off, and then I'm going to pack them in individual serving sizes in my yellow baggies, because 2 of these cookies equals 1 yellow, so that's a great way to be able to remember. And then I just wanted to talk about the things that I prepped in terms of containers for the 21-day fix. So the first thing that we did here were these Bulgur stuffed peppers, and these work out to be 1 green container, 1 yellow container, and 1 blue container. And then we did the frittata muffins. These work out to be 1 red container, a half a blue container, and just like the tippity top of a green container. So when you're measuring out your green containers for that day, just make one of them a little light for the onions and peppers that are in this frittata, but it's really not that much. So yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and then I'll know that you like these kind of videos. I definitely like making them. If you have any suggestions for things that you'd like to see me make and break down for the 21-day fix, definitely leave a comment below, and I will definitely do it. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.